What made the nicest kid in your school stop being nice? If you asked anyone about Jacob back in high school, they'd say the same thing. Nicest kid they ever met. We called him Jacob the Gentle Giant because he was 6 feet 2 inches, but wouldn't hurt a fly. When some seniors knocked his lunch tray out of his hands in front of everyone just to get a reaction, Jacob didn't even flinch. Just quietly cleaned up the mess, told the janitor he'd handle it, and went about his day. The guy was so peaceful it made you wonder if he even had a pulse. Like he was sleepwalking through high school while the other kids were drowning in drama. Then 10th grade hit, and something in Jacob just snapped. He went from gentle to hostile, started getting suspended for fights, stopped helping people with homework. That's when he got sent to my program at the rec center. Mandatory sessions for troubled kids. Though honestly, they weren't troubled, just hurt. Jacob showed up every day at 3:15 sharp, but now with bruised knuckles and dead eyes. Miss Miller, the guidance counselor everyone loved, had won Counselor of the Year 3 times, ran the suicide prevention program, had a wall full of thank you letters from kids she'd saved. But Jacob started avoiding the guidance office like it was contaminated. One night after everyone left, Jacob just sat there staring at his bruised knuckles. Rough day? I asked, sitting down next to him. He laughed, but it was bitter. Rough year. Then he looked at me, really looked at me. You ever wonder what it's like to be destroyed by someone everyone calls a hero? Then it spilled out. How Ms. Miller had called him in for check-ins about his grades, how she'd locked the door for privacy, how she started texting him, telling him he was special, mature for his age, how she'd make him do things, then cry afterward and say if he told anyone, she'd say he forced himself on her. Who'd believe him over Counselor of the Year? He'd tried telling Mr. Peterson but got told Ms. Miller was just nurturing, told the principal and got written up for inappropriate accusations. When he tried to tell another counselor, they sent him right back to Ms. Miller for mediation. The police threatened to charge him with false reporting, said he was probably just mad about a bad grade. So Jacob stopped talking, started recording everything on his phone instead. 3 months of evidence, texts, voicemails, videos of her following him to his car. Why tell me? I asked. Because you see us as hurt, not troubled, because I need someone to know the truth. 2 weeks later, Ms. Miller was found at the bottom of the service stairs near the old gym, skull cracked, blood everywhere. 3 students saw Jacob walking away from that exact stairwell, and when they found her, he was the only one who'd been in that hallway. The whole school erupted because everyone knew Jacob had finally snapped and pushed America's sweetheart counselor down the stairs. Police hauled him in immediately. Multiple witnesses put you at the scene, they said. She's in critical condition. If she dies, that's murder. You better tell us the truth now because when we pull that security footage from the camera maintenance just told us about, you're done. They were so sure they had him. Then they watched the tape. She just fell heels caught on the top step. But there was Jacob at the top of the stairs, watching her tumble down, standing there for 43 seconds as she bled, then stepping over her body like she was trash. Why didn't you help her? They demanded. Why didn't you call for someone? Jacob pulled out his phone, played a recording of Ms. Miller saying she'd destroy his life if he ever spoke up. Then another of the principal dismissing his concerns. Another of the police threatening him with charges. Last time I asked for help about her, everyone protected her instead. Why would this time be different? They couldn't charge him with anything. You're not legally required to help someone who's hurt. The police saw his recordings, heard her threats, but said it was he said, she said, without corroboration. The school quietly let the whole thing drop, just like they always did. At our next session, I asked him how he was holding up after everything. He was quiet for a while, then said, for 2 years I prayed something would stop her. When she fell right in front of me, all by herself. Maybe someone was finally listening. He didn't say anything else, but he didn't need to. She survived, but never walked right again, never taught again, never touched another student. And Jacob, he graduated quietly, studying counseling at a college 3 states away, becoming everything she pretended to be.